Probability distributions tell us the collection of all outcomes of a phenomenon together with the probabilities. So if I'm looking at the probability when I roll 2 dice, I know that I cannot roll a 1, but I could roll a 2 all the way up to a 12. A 2 would be a 1 and a 1, a 12 would be a 6 and a 6, and anything in between. My probability distribution would be my every single possible outcome as well as each of those probabilities. So the probability of rolling a 2, which is just a 1 and a 1, we only have one possible roll that would give us a 2. So that gives me a 1 out of 36. A 3, we could roll a 2 and a 1 or a 1 and a 2. So we get 2 out of 36, and so on. That would be our probability distribution. In order to find the mean of the probability distribution, all you need to do is multiply your outcome and multiply it by your probability. And you can only do that when you have numerical outcomes. So for example, on this one, to find our the mean, we would take our 2 times 1 out of 36. We would add it to 3 times 2 out of 36. We would add it to 4 times 3 out of 36 plus 5 times 4 out of 36, and so on. If you were to multiply all of those up, you would get a mean of 7. Okay, which would make sense if you look at our dice example from the previous page, and I'm just going to go back here to find that. If you look at our dice example here, our 7 is the one that occurs the most frequently. Okay, obviously we have 7s. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different 7s, and that would be our average roll. Everything is equally half and half on either side of it, so it would probably also be our median if we drew it out. So for this example, since we have numerical outcomes, we can calculate our probability by doing it that method. On the other hand, sometimes we have a probability distribution where we're not looking at numerical outcomes, where this would be an example. It's the distribution of athletes at a smaller university. Football has 52% of the athletes, basketball 23%, and so on. Obviously, we cannot calculate our mean that same way, but we can figure out our mean using the mode of our data down here. And just remember, the mode is the data or the piece of data that happens most often. So whichever one occurs the most often is what you would use for your mean in a probability distribution that does not have numerical outcomes. So in this situation, over half of our athletes are in football. So our mean is going to be football.